All right, I call the meeting of the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee to order at 6:30 p.m., 5/14/2026, Town Office Building, lower level. Members present are Andrew Marco, Ralph Toulis, Brennan Keller, Dave Gankowski, James Knight, Ron Gantic, Tyler Millix, and Stuart Cobb. I would like to make a motion that we add approval of the minutes from April 23rd on the agenda. It'll be item C, item D, I guess. Get a second? Second. Been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. We're going to approve the minutes under item T.
I abstained on there.
You abstain. All right, one abstention. Thank you.
Enjoy the chance.
Okay. 27 May. We have a Tom Snyder's here. I made up a flyer, actually, public Parks and Rec made up a flyer. But there's one on the webpage. I put them at the post office. I put them at the library. Put them in this building, and somewhere else. I forgot where else I put them.
Send me the,
Are they like posted?
I don't have it as a PDF or a link, but
it'd be nice if we could, because I'd like to push it out to all the committees.
I can like scan on my phone. Make it
Yeah.
PDF.
Well, who did it?
Parks and Rec, like,
I can do it like 10 seconds.
Well, I
Yeah.
can scan it, do press on.
I can let you know.
she put a QR code to go direct to the report so people can get the. Okay.
Yeah, go for it. I just wanna,
Pass that down. So hopefully we'll get some public participation there. I did, like I said, I put it wherever I could think of those public bulletin boards, so maybe you have any other ideas about where they could be, let me know.
We like post it on like
Well, you put them
Facebook.
anywhere in Wellington or anywhere. National Supply, you put them on the window, they got in there.
That's true. I didn't think of that supply. Okay.
Parks and Rec has a bulletin board down at the field on their.
Do they?
Yeah,
All right, I'll do that. I have more.
maybe reach out to them because I think it's a locked bulletin board, so they gotta have a key.
Okay.
oh, Parks and Rec did it.
Anything down Wellington,
Right.
Wellington Pizza might have something around there too.
Yeah, maybe
They have a
it's
board.
The restaurant.
Wellington Pizza does. So oh, and I think, Flat Penny does.
Flat Penny's got
Yeah.
Okay,
a board, I think.
those are good ideas. What was the other one? What else? Somebody else? Somebody else, where you guys are throwing out a lot.
Dollar General?
Dollar General. that's what it is. Yeah, I didn't write it down. Okay, cool.
Anything that can catch all the time.
Anything that might catch the public eye.
Hilltop, there you go.
Mario. Did,
Front door.
they did put it right on the front page of the website, which was good. They're right around and like say that. It'll be done, it'll take it down after the 27th. So I'm gonna bring coffee and cookies and the fixins. What else do we wanna do? Anything? We wanna do any other kind of refreshments? I did fill out paperwork at the library today, so that's all set.
Yeah, we had a lot of competition there.
Yeah, we had a little competition, but they said show up the day before and they'll remind me how to lock up and whatever I gotta do. Clean up, whatever.
Yeah. Well, the RTC was going for it, and, they could probably use the boardroom downstairs anyway. For a thing, but, and it'd be good for them to attend this.
Who was it?
Republican government.
Oh,
Yeah, hopefully people show up. So, how do we, who should do what? How did we talked about, did we come up with a hard outline last time? I know we talked.
We talked about it, but I didn't do anything with it.
No, I didn't either. How do we wanna that unroll? Who should do should our first selectman, should we have, since he's not here, should we tell him what to do?
Sure. I agree with that.
I second it.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems it might be. It kind of, to me, it makes sense, simply because, but not only is he the first selectman, the first selectman, but he has a very good understanding of the fire and the emergency services in town.
And we're also a committee formed by.
Well, for right, so, so, made the second, and it was unanimous that,
Mike,
Mike,
that's what happens. You
Encourage.
show up at a meeting.
become late, so. And he is he's a man of letters and words, so I'm sure he'll come up with a very good intro. And he probably doesn't need our help.
No, I'm sure you can do it on the cuff.
Correct. So how should we, should we, I like to take questions during the discussion, but for clarity only. Like if somebody, if somebody says something that the public doesn't understand and they need clarification, then yes, but to say, well, what do you, I'd like to get through the whole presentation. Because very often the questions are answered within the presentation. But questions for clarification to make sure that the audience is understanding it, I think are warranted. Like, I don't know what that means. If somebody uses an acronym or something, then you get lost. But if you start taking too many questions,
Well, there's nothing wrong with saying at the onset of it, that listen, if during the course of the presentation, there's a question of clarity on an acronym or something like that,
Right.
we'd be happy to answer that quickly.
right?
However, if you have any questions pertaining to the content or questions for any of the committee members or the fire departments, we're going to quickly ask, who's going to wait till the end.
That's what I'm thinking. Is that, you think that makes sense?
Yes.
That's the way.
You can get very mired down very quickly,
Right.
questions.
Right.
And next thing you know, it's
Bogs
9
down.
o'clock.
It
Yes,
bogs down
right,
all
and the
night.
time is in the meter. Okay, good.
Do we have a guide? Did you have a proposed guideline or who's going to do what? They did.
I did, yeah, I did.
I have to tell you, my opinion, if you guys tell me different, that's absolutely fine. Was there a section on the 911 service in there?
Yes.
I just forego that. I would just skim right over. I wouldn't, basically, no. Keep it on point. If there's a question about dispatch, we'll be happy to answer it. It is part of the report as far as the, fractal response reports and things like that. If there's a question on it, that's great, but.
It just shows up in where the dispatch.
Okay, I thought there was a section they wanted me or have somebody here to talk about the dispatch. Took it out.
We talked, but I don't know where it's.
For the record, Peter Finchus is seated at. It's 30.
If it's out, maybe not. But don't give me spend any time on explaining that. Listen,
Well, we can leave it as a placeholder.
It's really not in it.
good. Okay, it was. That's why.
That's why Mark.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Good.
All right, so we have an outline and we'll just.
Where's the outline? Where's the?
Yeah.
I think it was last previous meeting.
Yeah, last meeting.
Yeah, it wasn't the last thing.
Apologize.
That's all right.
So good.
Oh, yeah, because your name's on it, it says stuff.
Peter, it's nice to see you. Good to see you guys too.
Thank you.
We got you on there.
And I think the times, we're just gonna cruise through those times and get really.
Yeah, the times, I was just roughing out.
Yeah, I know.
For each segment, that's all.
If I remember right, it's gonna be Tom and I that do an overview of the departments and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I think we should do that. I know Mike was worried about time on there. It would take too long or Mike.
Well, the challenge is how much of the public shows up to this thing.
Well, that's true.
Are we gonna have people from the public show up that are familiar with the operations as they sit?
It was just fire department members and that will guide
Different audience.
the much different audience. It'll cruise through parts and then spend more time on other parts.
Yeah, right.
So it'll be-
Yeah, that sounds right. If there is a strong, or even some just regular, folks from town, that they probably won't know the history and they won't know how things work now. And I think it would be very wise to fill that background in, but if it turns out that it's.
There's two hesitations I have, is like we said just a minute ago, the timeline, and trying to keep it shorter than longer. And I hesitate to have to, we've done this 1,000 times. Tyler, you can back me up. Alex too, we've explained the fire department services over and over and over and over and over again to everybody for years.
Yeah.
You know, what fire trucks are, what they do, what stations do what, what's the history? We've done it for years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
And you will just more than likely not think there's any.
Yeah.
right, and I'd like to keep it as short as possible, maybe a brief
Keep it brief.
fire department
Yeah.
explanation, I guess, because again, we just do it over and over and over again.
I think it's gonna depend on our audience too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
They,
if we're lucky enough to get some
See
people
who's there.
in there who don't know anything about how things work in Wellington, then yeah, we kinda gotta go there.
yeah.
Right. As redundant as it may seem to you and Tyler and everyone else,
Could be brand new to someone else.
it is gonna be.
It's always gonna be brand new to somebody. Always gonna be brand new to someone. We've come across that. That's what I mean. That's the problem.
I would agree with
It's always brand
Or
new.
finance
You get
every year.
lost in all the
It's
weeds,
the same
of
people.
apparatus and other discussions.
No, that's really not what I think we need to get into. I don't think we need to get into
Well, I see
details.
on here, you know, the history of the departments and all that. And like I said, all I flash back to is just every single, you know, I mean, there's always somebody new that says, well, this, what's that? How come that?
What's the history?
So-
We describe this every year.
Yeah.
Well, it's your show. I would say. do
Yeah, I mean,
what
it's
you
just,
think is
it's
right.
just a thought that
Keep
came
it
to mind
short.
when I'm looking at this and
I
discussing.
think it's a necessary, you know, a certain amount of it, you know, Ron just showed me, years ago, but one sheet of paper with, I think, 10 very quick down and dirty bullet points about.
That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, we
Yeah.
can do that, something
Yeah.
short and sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do that, yeah, whatever.
Keep it,
For an event like
Happens
this, it's
this way.
necessary evil to go through the.
Yeah.
I agree, you gotta figure out a short way to do it, you know?
Well, you come up with a short synopsis.
Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna,
But all that, and that came out of the
Question.
addendum to the study that the group approved. That's all we had.
that's,
So.
but whatever, yeah.
That's just the history of Wellington.
Whatever you guys feel like doing, I'm not gonna weigh it on.
And just, we have to just be conscious of, you know, TikTok.
Right, we don't wanna beat it till.
I'd rather have
the history of what's in the two fire departments.
Yeah, right. We're there to listen to guy from
Right.
Fitz do
His
his.
timeline on this was just me spitballing. Hypotheticals. It's not,
You don't have to talk for.
we don't have to
15 minutes.
match that timeline by any stretch.
Right.
Right, self-balance.
I don't wanna be there till 9 o'clock,
No.
if we can avoid it.
No, that time you turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
No, that's when I do all my serious work.
Well,
From 9 to 2.
or helping Andy. So I see this is like,
Right, if I scan this right?
this is a kind of an overview of the pack. Are we assuming people coming to this
email it to.
forum or
That's fine,
gathering?
I could just.
I've been on our website, seen the fish report.
Both.
I think you have to
not
assume
gonna
that they
assume
haven't.
anything.
I'm gonna assume they have.
Yeah.
Both.
I thought that's who we were trying to attract, like people who are interested in where we're going to.
That's what we.
Yeah,
Trying to put
I
out.
think so, but also there's probably people that haven't seen it and they're like, oh, this fire station, and they're just gonna come without.
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna, when I was coming, that's what I want to know. And I mean, if I was a member of the public, they're gonna wanna know what the study says and how we can solve it. That's what they're gonna wanna know.
And how much?
How much?
And then those last two are tied together, obviously, but everyone has been asking that question during the budget process.
Right.
And will we get to that once we go through all this? I guess my question.
What?
Will we get to a discussion of the fish report?
That's what I'm trying to do, that's why I said that.
That's why he's coming.
That's why he's gonna be there.
That's why
to
he's
read
coming.
People with findings.
So he's coming to
Yes,
talk
Yeah, he's doing the presentation of his.
after all this?
But it's not, it looks long, but
It
it's not.
looks long.
It's not as long as it looks.
Okay,
It's
let's
just-
bring him some coffee.
He's the rock star. He's the main event for the night.
Okay,
He's the main-
okay, so that'll get us going on the future. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
But it reminds me, we should probably.
Where is he in the outline here?
He's not.
He's not,
He's not.
He's not.
Printed copies of.
but he's gonna be there.
Of the report.
And he's the keynote speaker.
I can print
I
them.
fully expect him to provide a synopsis of the report as well as key in on his 5 key
no.
recommendations that were on the front page. That's
I
what he's
think the
talking about.
executive, have a copies of the executive summary of the report, but I don't know that we really need to have the full report for every attendee. It's a lot of paper.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
That's a
paper.
lot.
A lot of paper.
And,
Can we give him a PowerPoint,
Right.
projection thing to put it on the screen or the wall?
I'm assuming he's gonna want to do that, isn't he?
I would think.
yeah, and I
Do
don't
we
know
have
if
that
it's gonna be
equipment?
zone or not. I gotta talk to the library. Did they say anything about the projector when you were there?
I know, so far that,
That's okay.
They got a big screen, right, that comes
yeah,
out.
this is a big
Well,
screen.
their projector was dead.
We got a projector. I mean, if they need one, we got one.
Well, can somebody check?
You guys got one?
To see if he.
What do you need, like what his
Yeah, all right,
required?
well,
I got a backup.
we'll reach
I
out.
mean, if he's got a screen, I mean,
The library.
Yeah, reach out to Steve, we'll do that tomorrow.
right.
Oh, I got a big screen that rolls.
They got a
up.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so he can do highlights of his report and talk to the townspeople.
Maybe ask him if he wants a projector, we can provide a projector.
Yeah, so I'll.
See what he requires.
We'll send him an email tomorrow and say.
He can bring up a laptop, he can plug his.
Right, and then, we coordinate next week with the library and do a tour, make sure that they got everything, make sure everything works. I know there was a screen there at one time, but maybe, I don't know, if it still works.
It's still, yeah, as far as I know, it works.
Well, that's it, as far as you know, but I haven't.
Well,
seen
he's
it.
running a screen with a projector that works on it.
Yeah, right, that's right, yeah, there used to be an overhead projector and.
Yeah, it was still there, but it was dead.
It was dead, okay.
Let's go back.
You say the fire department has a projector?
I am.
Okay. All right, cool.
Well, I feel much better now.
Where have you been?
Traveling a lot.
Okay. Okay, so we'll get some copies of the summary report and then the QR code takes you to the website, which is the full report. He's gonna go over the full report. We're going to, the thing says it's from 6:30 to 9, but 6:30 to 7 is a meet and greet. So hopefully we can, talk amongst ourselves and greet people, and the people are from the town, we can kind of guide them. I'd be happy to do that part, and,
We talked about 5:30 maybe, great.
really?
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah, opens at 5:30, starts at 6.
Well, that's not what this says. This says 6:30.
Start at 6:30 or?
Well,
Well, if that's circular, I guess it starts at 6:30.
Yeah.
You make me change it. So,
so we did,
Posted
Move
everywhere.
on to something else.
Yeah, my notes from last meeting were to open at 5:30.
Yeah, okay.
Started at 6.
That's what the rundown shows. too.
Yeah, Andy's, that's Andy's.
That's all right.
well, somebody screwed up then.
If that's what's
Somebody
circulating.
screwed up.
Meet and greet. You got 6:30 to 7.
6:30.
6:30 to 9, 6:30 to 7 was.
Yeah, okay. Well, someone's for starting at 5:30 then.
Well, I guess that's not funny.
We'll go with what's on the flyer.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Is Fitch doing anything else while he's here that day?
I don't know,
No, it's just for this.
no,
So he'll just come for the evening?
This is his last public,
This is, yeah, this is.
then he's done, then he gets paid. The final payment.
right, then he gets paid. So he'll do his thing, as long as that takes, I suppose we'll ask him that, how long does he plan on spending? What is he, what orders needs, how long?
You have other issues that you would need his help with, as long as he's flying in for the day.
I don't know.
Not that we can afford.
Not that we can
Not that we're gonna.
Just plan our
Ask them.
contract.
No, then the hourly clock will start.
So. For Q and A, we can. Certainly, we can write the questions down and then get back to people, or we can try to answer them right then. Or, so that could work. And, what else? Like I said, if it's only, if there isn't anybody from the public except people that are already so associated somehow with emergency services, we could probably prove to it pretty quick, but I need to see the presentation as much as anybody else. I'm looking forward to seeing how it's presented.
Well, one positive aspect of the second referendum may be we may get all those budget whiners. Are always asking questions about emergency services to come to the budget meeting.
That's true.
You just get budget one.
I know, I was gonna say, that's
Black, calling the kettle black.
Yes, I hope you're gonna be there.
I'm always there, that's why I whine so much, but. There's strong interest right now in everything going on.
Yeah, so good.
And the second referendum is pushing that, so
Well, there should be.
that might help us get
Should be.
non-fire house guys and gals.
So our town meeting is next Wednesday,
Yes,
and so we have a tentative date for the referendum.
no, we'll set it at that meeting.
It's not even been, 10 days of time meeting, right?
Well, it'll be probably be one or two Tuesdays following next Wednesday.
Back to your
I think
question
no
and
less
answer part real quick. I think the question and answer part is gonna be important, that we try to answer as much as we possibly can
Okay. That night.
that night.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Okay. Right, just, I just was thinking that even so, we should probably record all the questions,
Oh, absolutely.
just so, and who asked it, and,
But I think between all of us that'll be there, should be able to answer a lot of it. We're not gonna be able to put a price tag on how much it's gonna cost to do anything.
Well, we haven't picked an option either.
Correct.
That's gonna be a big one, because that's probably gonna be the first question.
Yeah.
There's 5 choices. Somebody's gonna say, what's the recommendation?
That's a question for Steve.
Is
We
there-
know which is our recommendation, right? I mean,
But he gave us 5.
He gave us 5.
He's not gonna give us which one we choose, and which one this committee is recommending.
right.
It's from Steve's perspective, always with respect to Steve, it's a political decision on our part.
Right,
It is not up to him to tell us. what
No,
works
absolutely.
best.
But somebody's gonna ask us as a committee, what do you recommend?
what are we gonna say?
Well, we're gonna say what we've been waiting for, we wanted
Wait for
to,
feedback.
well, we wanted to present it to the public before any discussion was being held, and we didn't.
Yeah, so that's true. That's what you said, Ralph.
Yeah, that's
We shouldn't have our interim discussion until we have the external one.
That's right.
yes.
Yeah, all right,
Because,
I get that.
because people feel, oh, you already made up your mind, why do you even include us? We hear that question.
Well, are they gonna ask that? Are we gonna talk about the like renovation, the secondary renovation of Station 13? Are they gonna, like, are people gonna say, oh, you already made up your mind, aren't you renovating it? Are we not gonna talk about that?
That would be a negative. I need to avoid that.
Nothing's in progress.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's a couple of hurdles that were just identified, I believe, so.
And I'm jumping the agenda here,
That's
but
fine.
No, you're right.
anticipating
You're right.
this question
Someone's
coming
gonna
up
bring
and
that
then
up.
what's gonna be the answer?
Someone's gonna bring that up and say, what are you doing?
It's saying,
Tell me exactly where we are.
yeah, that we don't have any we don't even, I mean, that's like, I don't know, somebody promises to give you money, but until you have it, how much can you really plan? I mean, it is on the agenda to talk about, at least to have an outline, but,
I just think we should have like anticipating those questions about that, we should have some sort of answer.
we should have some sort of.
You're right, we'll look up.
And one of the
Even
things
if
we're
the town
trying
does
to
get rid of the department, you can't really sell a condemned house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not gonna be worth nothing,
Yeah, right.
so you gotta do something with it.
Well, let's table that. That's a very good, because under item B, draft outline for Station 13 with the grant, maybe as we're talking about that, talking while a way to speak to that question, like present it. So,
One of the things we're trying to do in Station 13, as far as putting it back into service in some fashion, is try to eliminate as much as possible the burden to the taxpayer,
right,
which is what the grant's all about. That's
Exactly.
what we're trying to work into. We're gonna need that spotlight that.
I agree.
Yeah, I like to say some positive spin, I'd like that.
Well, it's the truth, not like it's even spins.
I'm just gonna change this to 5:30, and I only put up like 5 of them. I'll just go swap them up. It's just a website.
Where are they?
No, it's-
Well, the link's the same.
The links to, everything's the same, except the start time. All of a sudden, I thought it said 6:30, now it's
Don't
5:30.
forget, that's also on the website. So
Okay,
we gotta fix it there.
Fix it back, don't do about they want.
Let's regard the email.
They're so quick now. They're so, Hannah's doing a great job up there, and, Yeah, town clerks all over it, and they're super responsive. Oh, it's fun. I've been out there for a week, not that long. Not that long at all.
They're gonna look back on it later and double check time anyway.
Yeah, right, that's right, and I mean, the end time hasn't changed, so it's just.
Kind of like morning to afternoon.
Yeah, right, that's right, yeah, on a different day, that would be a little bit weird. All right, cool, so I'll fix that. All right, so that's it. You guys are gonna talk a little bit about history, Mike's gonna do, some sort of interpretive dance, and then, Fitch will do their thing, and then we'll they'll close.
Wait a minute.
And then we'll have Q&A, and, it'll be good, that'll be all right. You can print up copies of the executive summary, and when you have maybe 1 or 2 copies of the whole report?
Yeah, I think. Pretty much.
I'll ask,
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Well, I'll ask Tom. What?
Only paper I use.
I know, you have nicer paper. All right, so
It's the only
we'll get
paper.
1 copy of the full report, and the executive summary. That sounds like a fine idea. 1 full copy. And how many executive summary copies? 10? 15? What's the number? 20.
Well, I'm writing down 20.
20 it is. All right.
Probably have an extra copy of the full report.
And then closing, that'll just be once Fitch is done, we'll say thank you, Steve, any questions from the audience? And then,
Is he going to come for this? You can't just like camera in.
what?
Are we gonna really come in person for this?
We did pay for him to come to that university.
Yeah. What? Where is he coming from?
Missouri.
Missouri?
Or somewhere, I think their office is in Missouri, I think he's the Missouri guy.
Well, he's
They're
a Midwest.
spread out all over, they're all,
He do stuff from Mansfield.
he did, yeah,
He's getting to know the area very well.
yeah. All right. Do we think we have that locked in?
What are we not thinking about?
I don't know.
Oh,
Here he is.
There he is now.
James, can you let him in?
Let him in.
You can practice his interpretive dance.
Yeah. Better let him know.
Let's figure it out.
John?
Mike, glad to see you can make it.
So the sound was good?
Glad to be here. My apologies. There was a whole bunch of other town business that I just wrapped up literally 1 minute ago.
Imagine that.
Not surprising. In your absence,
We nominated
You
you
took care of
for.
everything. Cool. See you
yeah,
later.
you're gonna be the MC, on the 27th.
Are you comfortable with that?
Well, I don't usually like to talk in public, but I guess I'll be okay.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. That's what kind of makes sense as first selectman if you do and your vast knowledge of the emergency services in town. Thought that you could do the initial, opening statement and then the chiefs can do their speaking a little more granular about the departments, and then Fitch can begin. It was noticed there was an error on my flyer. We agreed that the start time was gonna be 5:30, but I somehow have 6:30. So Monday, I'm gonna get it fixed, and then I only put up 5 or so in public. I'll just retrace my steps and replace those, and we have some good ideas about other places to put up flyers, so I'll ask Hannah to post
Okay.
it. The new one with the new, it's only the start time that's changing, everything else is the same. So,
Yeah, get it to Hannah so we can update the website and all that.
perfect, thank you.
Is this going out of the town's electronic notification thing?
Well, I mean, Everbridge and all that, it's just on the web.
Is that, you know, what the thing that tells you what meetings there are?
I don't know.
Ask Mike if we could do that.
Yeah, I
What was
will.
that question?
Do we have a way of pushing out that flyer, digitally to town residents?
Yeah, if we put it on the main page of the town website as a news flash, it'll automatically push out an email notice to anyone who's signed up for that.
That's what I meant.
Okay, cool. All right. I'll take care of that Monday then.
Okay.
Or, no. Yes. Go for it.
All right, and we discussed just the sort of the outline of events, and then that we're going to, have, we will be taking minutes, we'll record all of the questions and answers and, try to find out who asked the questions so we can follow up if we have to. And then that's it. And then go home. I did fill out the paperwork in the library. We're gonna check in next week, make sure the projector screen works and see what's available, and that's kind of where we left off for item A.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? Anything else that we need to fill Mike in on? Anything else we need to discuss?
I just have a couple of questions because obviously I'm half an hour late.
Yeah.
Was it the right time, and has Chief Moore updated you on where we are with the latest on the grant for 426 River Road?
No, that would be, that's what we're getting into right now. So we're prepared for pitch and public presentation. There's a few minor things we have to do, and the rest is just gonna be, we're just gonna, put on a good show when we get there. Okay, item B, draft outline of Station 13 grant implementation.
Well, last week, Mike D'Amato, Mike Patu and myself met with USDA, and who was the other woman from, Mike?
That was from Congressman Courtney's office.
USDA Department of Agriculture.
To review the outline of the grant, and what we can use the grant for. As much as we're hoping that they're gonna get some of the limitations, lightened up, does not sound that way. So they were very big on saw costs, that grant can pay for saw costs. So we can pick it up and put it down, it'll pay for it. They don't wanna build and they don't wanna dig.
That's on us. Us being the taxpayer in town.
Or we find another way to get another grant or something like that, but.
Okay. Interesting.
Because yeah. They'll go as far as buying, we want a pencil sharpener for when the station's done, the grant can pay for that. It could pay, she did say that we could do the cleaning so it'll do the cleaning, do all the abatement stuff, that is fine. It's the reconstructing once you take it down that they have a problem with because of the needing, Mike, we need architects and bid documents.
Yeah, and the Build Back
Build Back America program.
Build Back America program has a lot of extra compliance hoops to jump through to assure suppliers are mostly American companies, the contractors are mostly American based, things like that. And unfortunately, even though those ideas are very good, the compliance process really slows things down and adds a lot of money to it.
Wonderful. So what we need is the plan. We did not send her the actual plan, did we?
Well, we had sent her the previous scopes of work that the Gordian and Millennium had produced. And so I've been looking that over since the meeting, seeing how easy, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it to Gordian and Millennium so that they can separate that out.
Yeah.
And I also talked to Troy today, and he has he should possibly by tomorrow, which means Monday for most of us, he should have a price plan together to at least give us an order of magnitude for the drainage project.
And that would be Public Works' costs.
Yeah, that would be material costs, and you know, anything related to that, and with Public Works doing the installation.
Okay.
The other, what she was a little hesitant on is when we do the remediation, she wouldn't say that they would hook the walls back up because it's part of the remediation program, but, that is a possibility as well.
You're doing interior walls?
Whatever we take out.
So what's the long and short of it? Well, are we waiting for more information?
We need more information, yeah.
Does she have specific questions that you need answered?
Yeah, so basically the scope of work as we gave it to her had too many of the different disciplines combined. So she couldn't separate out what she thought would really be immediately coverable versus what would have to go through these other requirements. So that's where we're stuck now.
So who's doing separating out the items?
We need Gordian to do that.
You need Gordian.
Because it comes down to, they need to separate what is the remediation.
All right, have they been instructed to do that with a timeline and return?
Millennium or whatever, yeah, right?
No, Mike is the contact with them.
Okay.
I have just, this meeting was just a couple of work days ago and I have not had time to get it back. I'm trying to figure out the best way to describe it to them. Because as you can tell from the chief's report, the answers are still, you know, not super clear.
They're not. And that's the hard part with them is that, you know, we have $525,000. They said they want us to use all $525,000. But then they tie your hands on so many.
On what you can use it for.
Right. It's not clear cut of, listen, it meets these guidelines, but you can only use it for X, Y, and Z. And maybe Y is going to be a questionable.
This is a federal grant, correct?
Yes, sir.
This feels different though than the initial conversations. Am I getting that?
Yeah.
The initial conversations, it felt like we were gonna be able to actually move forward with construction and stuff, and now those brakes have been pumped and that's not happening.
That's right now, yeah.
I'm sensing that we need like an expediter, somebody that knows how these federal grants work. And then reconfigure whatever Alex has to fit into their mold.
Well, that's what we were hoping. Congressman Courtney's office had kind of promised to help us do that. And so we assumed when we got on this Zoom meeting a couple of days ago that we were going to hear that. And that is not what we heard.
Yeah.
Because then college graduations are everywhere right now. All these interns are coming for the summer to do work, probably in Courtney's office. Get one of them.
There's definitely, we need to figure out based off of what they said with Millennial of what that actual scope is going to change.
Just move things around to suit this.
So when they say soft costs, that's design and engineering, is that what
They do design engineering, they would do, we need to pay for doors, they'll buy the doors, they'll buy the sheetrock.
But
As long as it's not paying to be put up.
But they won't, so they'll buy the material, but not the labor.
Correct. Right. They won't put a shovel in the ground. Shovel in the ground is.
But if it's identified or creatively identified in the scope of work that is part of the remediation, they'll probably let it go, is my point.
Probably.
Mike, I'm not, I certainly appreciate the fact how busy you are. Find somebody to do this for God's sake.
There's no one from like whatever, like Prague or whatever, that's how we have access to Gordian. There's no one there that we have access to that does stuff like this.
Yeah, I don't, you know, this was supposed to be a problem solver and it didn't turn out to be, or it hasn't yet. And I don't, you know, there's obviously been a lot of other stuff happening this week, so it has not made it off my desk yet.
Okay, so as far as us then, that really doesn't give us much to work with or work on.
There's nothing to work on,
right?
And you know, working with Mike, the goal, I know my goal is to help Mike as much as possible, but we gotta get this back to them so that we can.
Right, but this, what comes to mind is, and we don't really have to discuss it too much in depth, but the town already gave this committee 200,000 for soft costs. And now we have another grant for more soft costs for the exact same
Or remediation.
challenge. So would it make sense to petition the Board of Finance to hold a town meeting to maybe change the allocation of that initial fund because this soft cost grant was unanticipated at that time? But the money has still been allocated, it's still being held. Maybe it should be
Eventually, yes.
repurposed.
Eventually, yes, but I think we need to define what the grant will actually cover. So,
Okay.
How about this for an idea? How about, Chief, what is your, Alex, what's your schedule like? I mean, do you have time to do a couple emails tomorrow?
yes,
Would you be willing, since you were in the meeting, you have an idea just as much as I do of where the
Yeah.
conversation went. Would
Yeah.
you're in that contact group with Gordian and Millennium?
Yeah.
Would you email them back, in the same contact group we've been in, and just
Yeah.
tell them that at my request, you'd like them to separate out and just try to find a way to word it that sounds as close as to what Megan said the other day.
yeah,
And just tell that it's at my request and see what they come back with, and then maybe we can send that right over to Megan and say, what do you say about this? At least then we'll know if they're going to cover, if they
Right.
agree. At least
Yeah.
it moves us somewhere.
I'll get that done tomorrow morning or tonight.
Okay.
Or-
Is that,
Cool. All right.
I agree with Tyler, we got to find some way to move it forward. So maybe this is something.
Yep,
Does Megan seem like she's willing to work with you? Or,
She's super friendly, and she says she wants to work with us. But she is very, very,
rules oriented. And we thought we were going to get some bend on that with Congressman Courtney's office, but they did not seem to succeed in getting that bending to happen.
there's probably a lot of wheels turning in a lot of different places, so
Maybe.
we are not privileged to know about.
there's one other update regarding Station 13. We did get the proposal from DOT for the front lot. So I did send that over to Senator Gordon's office to review.
Oh, good.
It's $6,000 for that
Jeez.
parcel.
I talked to him yesterday, he said there'd be a small administrative fee.
Yeah, the
That
small,
doesn't sound small to me.
no, the small administrative fee was $1,000 and then $5,000 for the block.
So your when the town is purchasing that from
We have, well, that's what we
They're
have.
conveying it, that's what he told me.
conveying it for a fee.
Per fee.
Paper, that's the cost of the paperwork, amazing, price of government.
All right.
So,
I mean, for that price, I think we should just continue with the same path we're on right now, where we're using that property rent free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no urgent need to.
no. Yeah, if we don't hear back from them in six, or if they don't hear back from us in 60 days, they're gonna just take it off the board.
Well, they can take those flagpoles down, or flagpoles.
So, right now it's at Senator Gordon's office because he's the one, and I met with him last, 2 weeks ago. and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the same thing.
I spoke to him yesterday, yeah, it all went through, it's been approved. There was a small, administrative, like $300.
Well,
Yeah, that's
so-
what he told me too. He said $300 to $500, he thought. Yeah.
The person dealing with that?
Yes.
Yeah, tell them, we don't mind paying the $1,000,
We can leave it
Well,
right.
that's the thing, we're not paying the
Leave
$5,000.
leave the way it is.
No, we can't buy fire hose now.
Right.
Right.
Tell them we'll take it by eminent domain. We're already there, we've been there for 30 years.
And maintaining it.
Right.
Yeah, that's first possession.
40.
40 years.
We've been maintaining it, mowing it. I think it's still a law in the books for 250 years, if you mow something for 7 years, it's yours anyway.
Maybe we should we should take it by adverse possession.
Yeah.
Well, we want his rights.
Yeah.
We have been knowingly maintaining it and using it for a long enough period of time that adverse possession could
Right?
work.
Yeah, since 1980.
So Senator Gordon's office has it, they're reviewing it, and my plan is we're not paying $5,000.
I think that's a wise place of action.
I would pay for the materials for the drainage probably.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Me.
Andy,
All right, some of the materials.
There you go.
what's going on with the building right now? The good weather, can we open up some of those doors and get it dried out?
So it's not dry after today, I can tell you
Well,
that.
good weather.
Does it look wet in there when it rains like this? From what?
Well,
The
one
front,
of the bays,
the front?
the back stuff, this back sills.
The back sill still gets
Back
wet?
sills are soaked. Yeah, we were there, so we do have a 40-yard container coming so that we can get the shed emptied, we can get a couple of the bigger things that we need to get out of that building and out of there. So we were there trying to figure out where that 40-yard container is gonna go. And going inside, it smells, it's wet, it's.
You know, as it gets warm, air it out. I mean, that's just.
So we do have, windows are open, stuff like that,
Open it up.
so that it does get some air in there.
As it warms up,
Yeah.
it would make sense to me to open up the doors and dry it out good.
All right, so we can't really do much for a draft outline until we get more clarification on how the grant can be implemented for the USDA guidelines.
Sure.
And still more to come on that. All right.
Hopefully, once we get the draft back from Millennial, and they're usually pretty good at having a week or two revisions, if we can get that back from them, and then try to get moving.
What kind of support do you need? Do you have everything else or nothing? Okay.
Once we get it back, and then try to figure out
All right. Well,
what USDA, we have to get it over to her at USDA or Megan, and then.
you seem to be pretty well jacked in with that, so, but if you need help, don't hesitate to ask.
I feel like Mike's been a good resource with it.
Mhm. All right, well.
Andy,
Yeah,
when you're ready for the next topic, I want to ask you to add something to the agenda.
all right, we are done. We are ready for the next, we are gonna move on to next meeting date and time. And then approval of minutes. What would you like to add onto the agenda?
Mike D'Amato and I came upon an opportunity. Well, let me back up. This time of year, there is a grant program that comes out that's called CIF. And we attended 2 weeks ago, we attended an online Zoom meeting with a CIF, I don't know what you'd call it, guide or whatever, ambassador or something. And it's a program through the Department of Economic and Community Development, so it's state money. And basically, this guy is intended, the role this guy plays is basically to help you look at what things you have going on in your town and see what might be applicable. And there are 2 or 3 different projects in town that seem to be applicable to the CIF grant. And we went through a whole list of things based on his question and answering, and he actually felt that the possibility of using the study that we're rolling out, the Fitch study, to justify a fire station project such as 25 Old Farms Road might score well in the CIF process. So when he reviewed all our stuff, he suggested that we submit an application on that, and that we should include the Fitch study, and we should include the documents previously produced that Willington Hill had done by PDS and QA&M. So I would like, if the group is willing, I'd like to get that added to the agenda tonight so that I can ask permission to use a little bit of money to finish a couple of drawings they need for the grant, which I can discuss more during the motion.
Okay, so I'm hearing that we want the first selectman had asked if we could include an agenda item to discuss CIF grants, and particularly Old Farms Road. Is that's specifically that address, or just in general?
The 25 Old Farms Road address, yes.
Okay, so all right, so I'll move that we add item E to the agenda to discuss the an opportunity for CIF grants in regards to 25 Old Farms Road. That's the motion. to include.
Second.
It's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Why 25 Old Farm?
Yeah, might as well, same question about that.
Why specifically 25 Old Farms Road? Well, this is, we could get into that, but this is to include it on the agenda. So any discussion about including it?
Oh, no, that's fine.
All right, so all in favor to include on the agenda? Unanimous. Okay. All right, now, Mr. Selectman, if you can, talk about it.
I can. So first to the question, why 25 Old Farms Road? As I said, the ambassador or whatever from the CIF grant had basically had us go through like, what do you have in your CIP plan? What do you have in, upcoming projects in town and all this stuff. He started reviewing things and he picked out a few different things that he thought would work with the guidance in and what the intent of the program is this year. CIF has been going on for a lot of years. We're in the application phase for what is called round 9, and the rounds come out every 6 months. So they have 2 channels. One is construction, one is planning. When we reviewed all the different projects in town, he picked out 3 projects. And his top pick for the planning side was to apply for a planning grant to for feasibility of water and sewer, public water and sewer for South Willington from basically like the mill area to the Mansfield town line. He felt that would be very favorably looked at on the planning side, and he felt that the fire stations would play very well in the construction side, that channel of the grant. So we talked about the fire stations, and he said, we can't mess with, in this round anyway, we can't mess with 426 River Road because it has the CDS grant on it right now. Until that's settled, we got to look other places. So we talked about down in the village, and then he asked questions, do you have land to expand, all that other stuff. That led us to 25 Old Farms. Talked about what's in the study. He asked a bunch of questions. He said, I think you should apply for new fire station at 25 Old Farms Road. You put the study in there because it supports that as a potential solution. And he said, ask for the whole thing and see what happens. He says you might get half it and you have to come up with the other half and decide not to take the grant. You might get the whole thing, you might get nothing. But he felt it had the most likely chance of getting approved because it has the Fitch study potentially supporting it, and it has the land is already owned, and because we have some drawings already made. So he said that we could make the point that it is, in some people's terms, is shovel ready.
Seems to, hearing that, well, no, shut up. What are people's thoughts on that?
So what else needs to be done in order for that application?
We're already working on the application because, as you would expect, the applications are complicated. You have to request a file drop security code. We got the file drop security code the other day, things like that. GIS mapping. There's a bunch of base information that Mike D'Amato's working on for both of these. We're going to, we're moving forward with trying to apply for both of them. And so then we have not uploaded anything yet. We're gathering the material. So we would like to use the Fitch report, obviously. And the thing that I really need from the committee, or would like to get from the committee, is a small amount of money to update the QA&M proposal because it's dated 2023. And we would need to update the pricing in the QA&M proposal and possibly look at what the program and the layout of the building was to make sure it aligns with the Fitch report. And so we would potentially need a couple hours of CAD time with QA&M to make some alterations to the plan to make it fit the Fitch report, and to have them update their pricing and rewrite their sort of cover page or whatever you call it that came along with the drawings, that explains sort of the functional basis for the building, again, to make sure it aligns with the Fitch report. And so I reached out to QA&M. I got a
Who's QA&M? What is it? What is that?
that's a architecture firm, Quisenberry, Arcari, and Malik.
And that's what did there was money allocated some years ago to do a upgrade for Old Farms Road. And that's the plans you're referencing.
Some of that was, I don't know, is Chief Snyder in the room? I can't remember if some of that was fire department money directly, private money. I think it might have been.
Yeah, it was all private money.
But it was all private money.
Yeah, it was all private money by the fire department to
All right.
QA and M to get a drawing, so.
I do kind of remember the talking of
Get
that.
some.
My big question on this, Mike, is what was the premise for the design of that building? One station, two stations?
Yeah, wasn't it much more robust than like the 2-station proposal in Fitch's study?
We haven't even decided
Right.
whether we're gonna go the one station route or the two station route.
Right.
And now you wanna submit
Yeah.
plans for something that could be just a single station? You're taking the choice away from this committee. We haven't got there yet.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm here at the committee because this is the timeline. The grant just opened. This has happened in the last 2 weeks.
No, I understand. I'm
And
just,
second of all, as the first selectman, I'm submitting the grant. I am not passing up an opportunity to get $8 or $10 million for the town. We may not get it, but I'm not passing up the opportunity. So it is not intended to decide it's a 1 or 2 station solution. It's intended to attempt to get the thing paid for by somebody other than the Willington taxpayers directly. So that's why we've got to have QA&M look at the Fitch report and make sure that the station proposal is in line with the Fitch report, and it could potentially there could have to be a decision as to whether to design it as a 2-station, what would be this 2-station solution or a single station. I understand, and I understand the timing's not good because the application has to be finished in the next 2 weeks. But we also have been doing this committee for 3 years, and this grant opportunity is here. We got to try and take it.
We're under no obligation to accept the grant.
It's just an application. That's it.
To see even if we get it.
But exactly.
Makes no decisions for this,
That makes
our
no
situation.
no, but what happens if our decision is contrary to what the grant application implied?
Then you.
Well, if we,
Then
we're
we-
going to make, hopefully we're
Right.
going to make those decisions before we would even know if we got the grant. And then if the committee and the townspeople felt strongly that the grant was going to take us in the wrong direction, and we somehow got the grant, we say no to the grant, I guess. Not that that would be the easiest decision to make, but again, we're in a situation where we've got this grant opportunity and the guidance person is saying, I think you should apply for it. The guy from the state, from the department that gives the grants.
It would seem to be foolish not to.
What are you looking for, Mike, for money?
Yeah, what kind of,
Yeah.
No more than $3,000 to, not to exceed $3,000 to pay QA&M to update the CAD drawing, update the pricing and the cover letter to align it with the grant. And we can call a emergency meeting in between if we need to try to figure out how to make this not pin us into the 1 or 2 station solution. They don't need you to have finished drawings for this. They just need you to show that you are close to shovel ready or you're ready to move forward. And he said, our story plays well with the Fitch report, owning the land already, having drawings. So let's say we asked for $10 million and they gave us $8 million or $6 million, and we can make that work with one of the two options, and people are comfortable with it, we go forward.
Yeah, I just hope that Fitch's report, which gave us options, didn't give us a specific direction, can work into your grant application in a way that's comprehensive enough to support the plans you're going to submit with the grant application.
Well, he asked me, what does the report say? I said the report gives options. It gives options for a 2-station solution or a single-station solution that still has to be reviewed by the town. I said, and I told him we haven't even done the public presentation yet. I said the report, and his focus mostly was on the value of all the GIS work behind it. That, like, his main question was, will the Fitch report support this location where the land is owned as a potential location based on their studying of the GIS and the uses and travel times and all that? And I said, yes, it's supported as one of the solutions. I didn't say it's the only option, it's the single station option. I just said it is supported by the report. And he said, okay, he says, is it located on major roads, and can people who come from that station support other towns? I said, we have an automatic mutual aid system. We support other towns all the time. That happens from all of our stations. He said, I understand that, but will this location support that? I said, yes. So just followed his questions.
On 26?
No, that's what we were trying to do, 25. No, we were trying to do that with the money that.
With the money, and the town gave it
said
to
no,
here instead of
the
us.
committee. That was our next step to
get a survey done.
Yeah, to get the details on the property as to exactly what could be done.
The problem is, Mike, is that the timing of this, really, kind of contradicts where we are and where we want to get to. It has a real sense of circumvention to me that, for discussion's sake, oh yeah, we got $10 million for 25 Old Farms Road. No one's gonna vote that down.
Right.
It's free money in people's eyes. But it
Right,
may be-
but don't we, I think even without us having voted on it or discussing it, I think we all agree that 25 Old Farms Road has a high potential to be either in the 1 or 2 station solution, right? Like or is it not?
We're gonna have the
I
public
don't know.
meeting before we hear back about this
I don't
plan
know.
anyway.
The question, those plans that now need to be updated, is that a one station or 2-station plan? I mean,
It's neither, and neither is what Mike's saying. It's not committing us to 1 or 2 stations or committing us to anything.
But if this grant agency looks at it, what I see is a set of plans that have both departments or just you guys.
If the grant agency comes back and says it's gonna be 1 station and just you guys, and that's all it's gonna be in town, or we can't give you the money, then we're gonna say no.
I don't think that,
Because we don't
Mike
agree.
didn't describe the grant as like, CIF isn't gonna be like, all right, well, we're gonna approve this if you only build this
Right.
and demo everything
what I
else.
just said.
Right.
Not
Yeah,
quite what-
CIF, they
It
did
might
not give
like-
me any indication that they care about the program at all.
I don't see any risk to our process here or the Fitch report.
No,
at this point.
yeah, but
It's just applying for a grant at this point.
I was feeling what Tyler was saying. We specifically said we weren't gonna make any decisions. We weren't going to develop a course of action.
Prior to knowing.
And now all of a sudden it's like, well, we're gonna over $10 million. And of course, maybe we'll get it, and then the decision is sort of made for us. But it isn't.
Which is not contrary
Which
to
is
what
not-
we've discussed.
Right, and it also is, it's not really, it's significantly different than a grant for Station 13 only.
And when we discussed that, this opportunity wasn't available.
Exactly, right.
So
That's right.
exactly.
And maybe that's fine. Hey, that's all right.
I
My
mean,
concern
Nelson
about
might
this,
not get it.
My concern about this is simple. Okay, we have a set of plans, all right? We're gonna dress them up, we're gonna bring them up to date. I get that, that's fine. All right, but what if the ultimate decision is a two-station scenario?
This doesn't.
Now, if we scale back the plans we've submitted for the grant to be consistent with a two-station scenario, is it going to jeopardize the grant?
I mean, if they're gonna give us 10 million.
I don't think it will based on the discussion with him. I was very clear that we were just rolling the plan out and there has been no decision if it would be a 1 or 2 or 3 station solution. There has been no decision in the public of any kind, but that we, he asked us to give a list of your potential projects. We gave a list and he said we should be applying for this. This fits. I didn't convince him it should fit. He convinced us.
No, I understand.
And so I think I think, well, as I already told you, as first selectman, I'm applying for it. And I'm not going to argue that it's a one-station solution, but I'm not passing up a chance when the Department of Economic and Community Development says apply for this grant. I think that's fiscally irresponsible to the townspeople. So I'm going to apply for it and I want to do it as best as possible. And I don't want to mess up this process. So that's why I'm here.
You want a 3,000 from the design and.
Well, we don't have money. We can't decide that. That's
Well,
as far as I'm concerned, we haven't been able to do anything with money, so.
Yeah, but then we
Yeah, I
have to
know
get
why
like,
you're asking us.
we had to get Board of Finance approval for
You
the
gotta go
study,
to-
right?
Yeah,
right, but it would have to come.
It would
the
come
request
out
would
of-
come-
The recommendation would come from this committee.
So we have to
The recommendation
recommend that
would
the
come-
Board of Finance give it to
And
them.
then we'd say that we'd like to.
alright, so there's $200,000 there, we spent 40.
Minus the 40.
Yeah, there's 160. Well, it's a little under that because I have put a couple bills against it that were to this, like, for example, the recording secretary bills go against it and stuff. So it's maybe 159,000. I don't know.
That took a lot of big money.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, administratively, we are tapping into it. There is money there. But I wasn't going to go and try to take $3,000 from it without talking to the committee and getting the committee's recommendation.
Well, we should. I don't think a good problem.
It just opens up options.
It does, it's a good problem, right, yeah, it's just sort of like the timing, it's just the timing, like Tyler said, it's a little bit squiggly, it's like, geez, really?
I had to step out, so I paid this percent of rewarding, but why 25 Old Farms is not 426 River Road?
You guys are tied to a grant already.
Because we have plans, because we have property.
No, but it was because there's already.
We have plans and property for.
There's already.
And I'm not arguing 25.
Already tied to like this
Oh,
crap.
there's already a grant applied to that property, and that's what the recommendation is of the CIS.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, so
He said not to try to mix it in with the congressionally directed spending grant at 426.
does Wellington One have, plans too for expansion?
That was for an addition to that building.
Well, there, is that, I mean, we would
But we
discuss that.
are, we have a grant in.
Oh, you have a grant now, well,
In the works.
you have a soft grant that you can't do anything with, basically.
Right.
That's what it looks like to me, so, I mean, just the way it is, doesn't look like you're gonna be able to do anything with it, maybe.
Yeah, but I
So-
suppose, yeah.
Unless you get all the paperwork and lined up, but I don't know.
And clarity.
So, but, I mean, can you go for, if you're filling out the grant, can you go for both places? If they have it and Wellington Hill has it and Wellington One have it, put the grant in for both.
Well, it's.
I'll reach out to the guy and see what he says about it.
Right, because the Fitch report does also,
It speaks to both of those.
both, it would be both.
But I suppose I'm thinking as a legislator, they say, well, they already got a grant for that, so.
Right.
They're not gonna want, we don't wanna put stakes in.
And I apologize, I don't know.
No, that's fine. Oh, yeah.
So if there is a grant awarded to one location and we decide on
Right.
2 locations, that frees up whatever allegation, or whatever
And
money.
it doesn't mean you can't apply for a grant later on, yeah, right.
No, I have no hard objections to pursuing the grant.
I just don't
Want to be locked into plans that were done with a different vision, that's all.
It's not doing that at this point, he's just asking for
It doesn't sound like what he's described, I mean, like, obviously without talking to the person or seeing the grant, but it doesn't sound like he's described like, oh, you're locked in, like, oh, this is what you submitted, this is what you must fill, or you lose the grant. Hopefully it wouldn't be like that.
And if it does, it's not gonna say you're
Right.
locked into one building, one location, that's it, in town, or else we're not
Yeah,
gonna.
really silly, yeah.
If it does, we, like he said,
You're back out of it. Thanks, no thanks.
Right.
because that's not gonna be a request from the town.
No.
Okay, well,
I don't have a problem. Spending $3,000 on this.
How do you wanna word the motion, Mike?
well, do we, simply, I guess we can simply say that, I make a motion that we, the committee approves an expenditure of $3,000,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed $3,000 for a, updating of the plans that, were developed by the Wellington Hill Fire Department for 25 Old Farms Road in support of a grant from the CIF, and I don't know what that stands for.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that stands for. So many acronyms.
Is that a fair motion?
Community Investment Fund, I think.
Yeah.
What is it?
Community Investment Fund.
I like it, from the
Thank
community. Right.
So I'm here for it.
That's what it's gonna be from now on. So let me tune that up a little bit. I move that the Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee, requests an expenditure from our design and engineering allocation of not more than $3,000 to support a community investment fund grant, for plans, updating plans for 25 Old Farms Road.
Mike, are you sure that's enough money?
Yeah, I don't think we should. I don't think we should spend more than that right now. If for some reason we need more, I'll have to figure it out, but I don't want to tie up a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like based on the hourly rates that QA&M sent us, I think we can do it.
It was 2023, we spent $4,000 there.
Total.
Total, to create the whole process, the whole package. So to tweak it and make it adjust it.
Mike, you were using the terms GIS in your conversation.
But we haven't,
Exactly what's your perception of what GIS represents in this discussion?
we have a motion that hasn't been seconded yet, now.
Second.
Discuss. All right, it's been seconded. Motion made and seconded. Now we can discuss.
Okay, Mike, you heard my question, I hope.
Yeah, I think what you're asking is what role was I implying that GIS plays in the grant?
Correct.
So when the ambassador guy from the CIF program asked about the Fitch study, he asked, what did the study? And I said, I think it's what they typically call a station location study. He said, okay, I'm familiar with that. He said, so they did GIS analysis. I said, yes, they looked at travel distances, time, response time, coverage in town. I told him where the link was for the report if he wanted to look at it himself to get better detail. I said the report's in two portions. It has a bunch of analysis and recommendations in one section, and the other section is the more data packet side of it. And he said, okay, that sounds like the kind of thing that usually favors well in reviewing these grants.
Okay, we're gonna be short of, with respect to an A2 survey, if that is relevant. It certainly would be with respect to a building permit application. You need a site
Yeah,
plan.
I did not get the impression from him that we needed to be that shovel ready. He felt that the Fitch study and owning the property were the two biggest things. And then when I said, he said, do you have drawings? Do you have design, whatever? I said, we have just programmatic level. He said, fine, include that. That's great.
So any further discussion about an allocation to support plans for 25 Old Farms Road? All in favor of allocation of $3,000? Aye. Abstains? Any nays?
With respect to all my colleagues, no.
You're voting no? Okay, so we have one no vote. Tyler Miller. All the rest were from.
Tyler,
All
can
right.
I just ask what you mean by respect to your colleagues, what you're referring to?
I've heard everything. I hear what everybody's saying. The timing's horrible. And like I said before, it has an appearance or a potential appearance to the public of circumventing the entire process that we're going through. That's it.
Okay. I kind of assumed you were implying that it wasn't favorable to Willington One by you pointing out your colleagues.
No. My colleagues of every single person sitting in this room and online, Mike. Everybody.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, so now, we bounced around a little bit, so now we're actually on item C. Next meeting date and time, are we gonna call 5/27 a meeting? Where we should have an agenda, or is it?
Well, if we're all meeting in the same room, it kind of has to be a meeting.
Okay, it has to be a meeting, but the agenda can simply be public presentation, is that?
Yeah.
So our next regular meeting is the 28th.
Right.
Well, let's not do that, I don't want to do that.
Great.
So it's gonna be, yeah, we'd have to do a special meeting agenda.
What night of the
for
week?
the 26th.
Wednesday.
What night? What's the date?
Wednesday, the 27th.
Wednesday after Memorial Day.
That's when we get at the library.
Yeah, but let's,
Do a week.
Give myself an alarm.
The reason for Wednesdays is
All right,
there's not
so-
many other meetings going on in town.
so the meet and greet, the dance marathon and all that, that's gonna be 5/27. The agenda will simply be public presentation. I don't see a reason to have a meeting the next night. If we're gonna be looking for public feedback, we need to give some time for that to happen. And if we don't get any, I know we talked about this, I don't know if we really. I was thinking that it might be a good idea to just have a soft close, that if we don't hear anything in 30 days, whatever feedback we get in 30 days, that's not that we won't listen, but we're going to start acting.
We're gonna start debating.
We're gonna start debating what direction we're going in
After 30 days.
after 30 days. I think we need to give, okay, does that sound reasonable? Otherwise, we can't wait forever for people to get feedback. People are gonna give us feedback.
I give an honest opinion. I'd say we're starting to debate in 2 weeks.
Okay,
30
Our
days
meeting is
late.
2 weeks after that.
there you go.
We're gonna start debating in 2 weeks.
Right, that works for me.
Yeah.
Not that we won't take public comment.
Exactly, that's right.
We're gonna start having conversations.
There you go. At our next one, the next week, so,
Well, our first meeting following that night, we're gonna start
Yeah.
discussing it.
yeah, okay, but that, exactly what'll happen. So, the
I
next
do have an
meeting,
update from Senator Gordon, if you wanna hear that. That's who called, that's why I stepped out.
Okay.
he's more important than us.
When it comes to.
Depends on what he's offering.
That's more important.
As Peter said, the conversations that we both had with him was $600 for that piece of property, because that's the, should have been administrative fee. He is calling DOT tomorrow. He said, we're not paying $6,000, it's not happening. And I conveyed to him that we're definitely not paying $6,000.
Yeah, right.
for the property. So,
Right,
so
Maybe
he
somebody's
is going to
sure
start
with that.
working on that tomorrow morning. He is hoping to have an update by Monday.
all right, awesome. Appreciate all the work you're doing on it, Alex. I know it's a lot of work.
If anything, what's the basis for the $6,000? You know, is that market?
Estimate.
They think it's fair market value.
Estimate.
Try to sell it for that.
Yeah,
It is.
Sell it as is, please.
Yeah, go see if you can get $6,000 for that piece of chunk out. How many square feet is it?
We should tax them on salary.
So he's gonna follow up. As soon as we're gonna follow up, and I'll leave that out.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so the next meeting anytime will be 5/27/26, and that'll simply be a public presentation. That'll be we'll all be there. And, so it will be a real meeting and,
Special meeting.
a special meeting. The agenda won't change because it'll simply be public presentation.
Correct.
Can't do anything else with it. Okay, and then, now, item D, approval of the minutes from April 23rd, 6:30 PM.
Motion to approve?
1 second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor? Say aye. Opposed, abstentions?
Same.
One abstention. Brenna Keller has abstained. All right, minutes are approved. Next item is adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all.
That's the fire, I gotta chase it down.
Do you have, can I have?
Yeah,